So the term tea is unanimous with gossip. I think a lot of us know that, but for all of you that may not have been aware, now you are. I'll use it in a sentence, okay? Say Tanya knows some personal information about Betty, and Janine wants to know that personal information about Betty, so she would say to Tanya, "Girl, spill that tea." Meaning, tell me Betty's private information. Now, if I've learned anything from my personal hero and generally the voice of my generation, Larry Boy, it's that telling rumors and fibs is never a good thing. They will always manifest into big giant monsters and terrorize entire cities, and that's never a good thing to happen. Now, I am not against, by any means, a dating app to help with women's safety. I get it. I support that. I understand it 110%. But this app goes more than a touch too far, okay? Let me explain this, okay? If this app was, say, just a way for you to run somebody's name through and you could see if they're on any kind of, registration lists or have any kind of public criminal records, I would support this app 110%. This app does that plus 50 other things it shouldn't do, okay? You can get somebody's phone number, age, home address. You can run private background checks on people. People on this app make it a point to essentially gang stalk some of these people and see if they're going out with other women or if they're secretly married, or essentially you can gang stalk people on this app. And yeah, that's not really good. Now, in every other part of the world, like Canada and the UK, this app is completely illegal because, I mean, come on. But in the good old US of A, it's probably going to take a national scandal before anything's done. Because if the current climate of modern day political politics have taught me anything, unless it becomes a national scandal, they won't do anything to stop it. Now, my political ramblings aside, I again understand why women would want an app for dating safety. It makes perfect sense, and I 110% would support that app if it was just, again, running some background checks on some guys to see if they had any publicly accessible criminal records or were on any kind of publicly accessible lists. Because I get it, there's dangerous people out there. I understand, like, you may have children, you may have valid concerns. I get it. But this actually hurts women in the long run because all this is going to do is stop men in general, including the good ones, from wanting to ever even talk to women, okay? And look, this is not all women. This is not even close to being all women. What this is this is the female equivalent of incels, okay? And your Dr. Jordan Peterson is Olivia Wilde, whether she likes to admit it or not, although I did love the movie Her. Now, that being said, I feel that when you create a toxic climate where men feel like if they put themselves out there on dating apps, that it leads to crazy creeps being able to harvest their information and gang stalk them and attack them. And people can just say whatever they want on this app as well. That's a big problem. You can make any unfounded claims you want. You can say that a guy murdered another man in 1983 and you don't have to verify it. And the app doesn't verify it. There's a lot of issues with this app. This is not a good thing. It does not help women. It does not help men. And I'll be honest with you, I don't understand why current dating apps just don't run algorithms to check to see if men are on registrations or whatever themselves. It seems like that would be something Tinder would do already, but for some reason they just don't. So I think the solution is just Tinder and Bumble and any dating app just, verifying that you're not on any of those lists before you can create an account. I think that that's fairly reasonable. But I think a bunch of what they call femcels, and the queen of femcels is Billie Eilish.
Why is every pretty girl with a horrible looking man? I don't understand.
She makes good music, but girlie's insufferable. Anyways, a bunch of femcels getting together to spread lies and dangerous lies and to gang stalk men just for the sake of being bitter and toxic, just for the sake of hurting maybe a bunch of attractive guys that aren't interested in them. It's not good. This app is not good for anybody. It's not good for women. It's not good for men. And I think it's a massive lawsuit waiting to happen. That being said, and I don't like this, but the girls on the app, their information got doxed as well, which there is irony to doxers getting their information doxed. But I don't like the victim complex of it. There used to be a time in this country where if a creep got exposed for being a creep, they understood. They were like, "Ah, you caught me. Yeah, I'm in the women's fitting room at Target trying to see if I can find any used socks or whatever to sniff at. You caught me. You caught me." Now those same creeps after they're caught are just like, "But I'm a victim." We have raised such an insufferable generations that the creeps and ghouls think they're people too. And that's ridiculous. That being said, we should create resources for women to be able to date safely, but they shouldn't be doxing and gang stalking tools, okay?